Hi, I'm Dave Cuthbertson from AssetGen, and I'm going to show you how to create Visio service diagrams from CMDBs or other information sources. One of the reasons for using AssetGen is that a lot of existing sources of information, such as a service desk, discovery tools and others, don't have the reporting analysis capability which we have within AssetGen, and quite a few people have found a lot of benefit in making the service relationships much more visible using our toolsets. What I'm going to be focusing on are the Visio service maps, but there are many other aspects to our SysMap software. To generate a Visio service diagram, we select the Diagrams option in SysMap, and then we pick up and choose an existing configuration item. Here I've got a server, for instance, and this server is a Windows server in the servers group, and what I want to do is understand its service relationships to the other components. To do this, I first give our diagram a title. I have various search types that allow us to control the amount of detail that we have in our diagrams, and when it comes to the output side, we can also not just create a diagram but compare and update other diagrams and choose different Visio templates. But with these settings, what I'll now do is I'll create a Visio service map. To do this, I click the draw, and here we have a raw Visio service map drawn using SysMap software. We may rearrange. When we generate the Visio diagrams, AssetGen automatically inserts data into the shapes that were in the database at the time, so that we can then make use of Visio's shape data properties. So for instance, if I select the accounts database here, this shape data is showing that the end-of-life status is supported by the manufacturer and it's got a recovery plan which has been tested. And the same for all the other components. So if I look at software, there'll be a different structure, and this is automatically maintained whenever we create or update the diagrams. You can then make use of Visio's data graphics facility to change the properties of this. So for instance, here I've color-coded all of the different shapes to see which ones are no longer supported by the manufacturer or are going out of support. And here I've used an icon to show which of these configuration items we have successfully tested some form of backup or recovery process. All the shapes also have hyperlinks that go into the AssetGen application. So if I do a right click on this claims processing, I can then see that we have a hyperlink that will take us straight into the web app. So if I click, and this then allows us to analyze without needing service maps. So for instance, I can look at the dependencies for this business function on servers and do a query on this. And so there are 3 different servers delivering claims processing, whereas our service map was only intended to show the impact of one server on applications and software. As for instance this diagram shows. If you save your Visio diagram as a web page, which is what this shows, those same hyperlinks work as well. So if I click on claims processing, if I do control click, I can see the data on the left hand side, which has been embedded into the shape automatically. And if I do a single click, I can see I have 2 hyperlinks, so I can do an impact analysis in the same way from that same device. So say for instance, if I want to understand the software underpinning claims processing, there are only 2. So this helps me confirm the validity of my diagrams, and also helps us to understand the accuracy and depth of any service desk CMDB. If we go back to AssetGen SysMap, all of the settings that we use, the nature and the style and the comparisons or the updates of the diagrams, can all be saved as a template to allow us to then fully automate the update process. So here for instance we have a server Win01 impact diagram. If I load this, I could now repeat the same process, and we can do this under a batch process, and so therefore if we have hundreds of service maps or perspectives of critical systems, we can create them automatically. Just going back to the diagram, I hope you've seen there the Visio service maps. There are many other things to the system mapping software which enhance the understanding of service relationships, particularly in complex environments with many hundreds or thousands of server platforms. I hope this has been useful for you. Please look at our other videos that show other aspects of both SysMap and our Connect modules.